As Indiana makes a substitution, bringing on Corey Thomas to replace A.J. Palazzolo. Gutjahr with the outswinger here to the far post, looking for Corey Thomas, but Lappert able to clear that out. But Indiana still on the ball with 19:50 to go. Moore in the midfield, up to Poncho, chips it forward for Renix, a nice Meg on the left side of the box, now to Corey Thomas, one move, and then can't get past the second defender. Cleared now to Gutman. Poncho. Moore. Back to Thomas on that far side. Getting pushed from the back, and that'll be an easy call for the ref.
Easy.
Gutjahr delivers, and the top of the box is cleared out to Mayer. Mayer with a quick rip right above the top of the net. He really fizzed that one in there. Let it fly, young fella.
Well, for Mayer, that's his first shot as a member of the Indiana Hoosiers, and put a little too much on it, a little too much weight, but still not a bad play. It's another opportunity where Indiana has a chance to strike, and what a play that would have been, though, if Mayer was able to put it in. Can you juxtapose that with Connecticut? Indiana is getting a lot of passes off in the box, whereas Connecticut at this time is really trying to rip shots or just try and make something happen. A lot of that can be attributed to the back line of Indiana just swarming, whereas Indiana's had good possession inside the box today so far.
Another substitution now. Spencer Glass coming in for Austin Poncho. Yesterday, Andrew Gutman mentioning how Spencer Glass might have the best cross in college soccer after a great match on Friday. Luke, what did you really see out of him?
I like Glass. You know, I think he's one of those players that has also progressed, redshirting his freshman year. Also had the assist against Wake Forest, like you said, but I like the progression that he's had so far, and I like what he brings off the bench. And again, it goes back to depth. This Indiana team is just so deep. They can bring a bunch of guys off. They brought 5 guys off the bench against North Carolina. That's a pretty big total, and especially with the depth on this team and really the quality of the depth, it's going to bode well going forward.
Counter back. Spencer Glass on this left side, a low cross. Intervened with by Sule, but Dorsey has it. He's taken down in the box, and again, no call as we see an increasingly physical matchup. Spencer Glass gets to it. Gutman now. Back to Glass. Swartz at the top of the box. He's got a lethal left foot if he uses it, as that shot is blocked by Lappert. And now UConn can take advantage of this turnover and counter. Baki Jam to Harris. And now Indiana defenders get back quickly and stop this one.
That was the story against Dartmouth. It's the story again today. You hesitate for a couple of seconds. That Indiana defense, they're going to be sprinting back. We saw that with Reese Buckmaster. He was in a dead-on sprint. You couldn't tell that he was tired at all. He was just completely going after the ball, and that worked out well for him.
Glass with a cross into the box, a diving header clearance from Greenberg. Indiana able to get back to it as Gutman has it. Gets by one defender, but does not get by Venner. Moore in control now. Luke, what have you really seen out of the first 35 minutes from these two teams?
For Indiana, they've done a good job in recovery defense. Every opportunity that Connecticut has had, it's generally been a quick shot if they've been able to put it on frame. There was the one scary moment from Trey Muse's perspective where he had to parry one of the balls out of bounds. But other than that, Indiana's possessed the ball well and had some good opportunities in the box.
Renix playing it forward for Thomas. Now into Gutman, who chips this one high and out of play. The keeper. Swartz delivers. And in from Gutman. What a beautiful rising header from the #2 player in the nation.
Talked about earlier how Gutman might not have known how he got his last goal. He knows how he got this one. Just a great head on the ball. No one marked.
The keeper. Swartz delivers. And in from Gutman. What a beautiful rising header.
Talked about earlier how Gutman might not have known how he got his last goal. He knows how he got this one. Just a great head on the ball. Like you said, from both sides, but at times it felt like Connecticut was really the aggressor, and Indiana started to get into that aggressive mindset as the half wore on. We saw a yellow card as well for Indiana, but otherwise it was Connecticut really bringing it to Indiana, but ultimately they did have the goal on a set-piece opportunity. You take a look at your screen right now, just a gorgeous play by Gutman on the corner kick.
The Hoosiers really displaying a lot of talent and showing a similar game to the one they had on Friday.
There's a couple ways to try that, and you can certainly see if you have some success. But with Indiana, they more or less just mark whoever is in the area. So, I mean, the switching hasn't done anything yet, but maybe something will materialize down the stretch.
Moore pushing through the midfield, taking his space. Now to Poncho, and out wide to Gutman. Gutman with a low cross into the box. He has runners, but neither of them can get to it. That'll set up an Indiana corner.
Another corner kick for Indiana, 5th of the day. They scored off one already. And I'll say it again, it bears repeating. If you don't mark Gutman here, he's going to make you pay.
Bringing on Jeremiah Guyar alongside UConn substitution, bringing on Ibrahima Diop on that outswinging cross. Swartz to the middle of the box, and that's cleared out by the UConn Husky defense. Renix, the sophomore, who everyone expected to make a huge impact for the Hoosiers his freshman year, but because of injury, really didn't have the opportunity. Only saw playing time when he was healed up by the College Cup.
And, of course, there's the emergence of Mason Toy, too, which put a hamper in that. But he's going to have a bigger role this season, especially as the season progresses.
That ball through for Diop. He's one-on-one with Muse, and he tries to get it by him, but a great sliding save. UConn continuing the attack, though, after trying to take advantage of that little communication error from Indiana's back line. Burgess, a little fancy move, but can't get by Andrew Gutman, who goes to his butt to make that play. But then Burgess again coming in for a late challenge. That'll be an Indiana throw-in.
The most, they didn't really give up on the play. They saw that as soon as it was past them, they needed to get as close as they could and luck your way into 287 wins at Connecticut.
Now into the game, Spencer Glass will be placing Griffin Dorsey. Glass again is going to set up on this left side. He's had a nice connection with Andrew Gutman in the first few games of the season. Swartz tries to win that header against Metzler. Be a UConn throw-in, even with everyone on Indiana's bench saying otherwise, and you know what? They changed their mind.
Maybe they influenced that.
Calling for that. And gets what he wants. Renix trying to get by Metzler. But first comes the ref's whistle.
More safe passes, ones that can eventually lead to something down the road.
Hauser Ramsey. Again, we'll mention that he's the captain of this team. He's been stout all night in that back line. Burgess, left side of the box, trying to get by two Hoosier defenders, and that's a tough task as this rolls out of play.
That's a situation where you got to one-touch that when you're in the box and take a shot. You either pass it out behind you or you take a shot in that instance. He was dribbling into two IU defenders, and that's not even with Trey Muse waiting in the wings ready for that shot as well. It's just a tough play there, and you dish that one out, you might be able to get something out of it.
Glass now with some space on this left side. He's got Renix in front of him. Sends a cross, trying to get into the box, but that is blocked by the UConn defense and Nkosi Burgess. Gutman now sending that ball through for Renix, but Lappert is there. Tension building with both these teams starting to get advantageous opportunities. Buckmaster cutting inside. Gutman to Glass. Cross into the middle of the box. Up is Renix and Lappert, but Lappert wins that battle. Now Buckmaster on it, and that cross way wide of its intended target. Now to play. And Harris tries to clear it out, but Indiana has it once again. Mayer, ball forward for Glass. Low cross into the box and just barely cleared out by Burgess. Everyone jumping for it. And finally, Avisa snagging it in.
Collide. He would have been able to get the foul call, but you have to own the ball. You got to call off the defenders, and then you have to say it's mine. And he tried to get a quick
Glass and Andrew Gutman, but it's hard to beat out a guy who's 6'3" in Austin. And when Ray Reid talked about his team last year, he mentioned a kick into the midfield. Spencer Glass trying to keep control. Now Guchar on this left wing. Glass taken down in the midfield, but advantage. And now Frankie Moore taking advantage of some space. He's got Glass to his left, and he feeds him. Glass looks up and then decides to stop, and he gets taken out from behind by Burgess.
That's a pretty tough takedown. Really just a forearm shoulder extension on that play. And no doubt there's a foul on that. Worse than the foul, though, is the fact the clock still running and Indiana has the ball with a chance to score again. It's not looking good for UConn.
Indiana content and in control in these final 2 minutes. Palazzolo now to the corner. The Hoosiers put their biggest body by the corner flag, but he can't keep it. And UConn. Lappert gets to that kick, and Metzler pushing it forward. Maybe one last chance for UConn. Spencer Glass gets to it, but he's tracked down by Harris. He's going to have to fight off the contact. Pushes it forward for Palazzolo, and he's going to run straight to the corner, but not before Lappert takes him down and begins to show a bit of frustration.
Just another bit of the physical play by the Huskies. A little shove in the back, and now Indiana, they don't necessarily need a shot on goal. They can pass it around here and just milk the end of the clock.
Now if you're UConn, you still can hang your head high. A good performance from the Huskies. Their only goal given up off a set piece rather than in regulation and regular play. Metzler coming on the counter. Last chance for the Huskies. Jom back to Metzler. Trying to find Jope, but can't. Cleared out by Moore. Clock ticking down, and that throw-in accidentally seems to have hit the back of Spencer Glass, and that could be the end of it. As Hauser Ramsey has it, the clock begins to tick down to the final seconds, and the Hoosiers will pull out another victory here at home, taking down the UConn Huskies 1-0, thanks to a beautiful goal from Andrew Gutman, one of their team leaders and stars. But overall, a great performance from this side.